Welcome back, my magical star beings. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at compliments people want to give you. So you can either choose your pile based off the card or crystal you're most drawn to, or based off your zodiac, which is in the thumbnail. So for pile 1, we have rose quartz with the Queen of Cups. For pile 2, we have Malachite with the Knight of Wands. And for pile 3, we have the clear quartz rock with Judgment. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below. Also, if you'd like to support the channel by watching the sponsored segments of the video, I would appreciate it. But then I will see you at your reading. I'll try to be as accurate as I can, but it is a bit tricky when reading for the collective. If you want something more personal, you can always check in with the psychic for a more in-depth description. Speaking of which, I tried a clairvoyant from Psychic Source, and yes, they're sponsoring today's video. Thank you, Psychic Source. I got matched with a clairvoyant through their site, and honestly, I wasn't expecting her to be that accurate. I gave her no personal info, just asked about my future love life, and somehow she instantly picked up that I'm already in a relationship. She literally said, "Why are you asking about the future without mentioning him?" I was literally speechless, but then I remembered that's kind of what I do too. Still a shocking experience to be on the receiving end of it. She described my future partner as someone who makes me really happy, with great communication and bond that can handle anything. But the part that really stuck with me, she said she saw my future husband giving me purple flowers. A few weeks later, nothing happened, so I kind of forgot about it. Then we saw a tattoo promo on Instagram. My boyfriend sent me his ideas so I can book, and boom, a purple flower. Not a bouquet, but I'm definitely taking that as a sign. You can chat with gifted advisors however you're most comfortable, phone, video, or even text. Setting up my account on their website was super easy, and they have this quick little quiz that helps you find a psychic based on what you're looking for, whether it's love, past lives, energy readings, whatever. It made the whole process really personal and intentional. What sets them apart is the level of care and integrity. Only 2% of their applicants actually become advisors, so you know you're speaking to someone who's truly gifted and held to high ethical standards. And they back everything up with a no-risk guarantee. If you're not happy with your last paid reading, it's free. For a limited time, you can use my code Siren at psychicsource.com when checking out, or you can just click the link in my description box below at trypsychicsource.com/siren. You'll get up to 40 minutes with an advisor for just $19.80. That's up to a $240 value. You don't have to use it all in one session. You can spread those minutes out across multiple advisors to see who you truly resonate with. They also donate 1% of your purchase to charity at no extra cost to you. Oh, and yes, I do get paid for this promo, so when you sign up with Psychic Source, you're feeding a perpetually hungry, slightly dramatic psychic, that'd be me, and funding my next impulsive crystal purchase. As you can see, the channel needs some new crystals, but that's all for now. Thank you again to Psychic Source for sponsoring today's video. Pile 1, you chose the Rose Quartz Crystal and the Queen of Cups. We're going to be taking a look at compliments people want to give you. So, spirit guides of my pile 1s, please tap me into their energy and people's energy. Please show me what compliments do people want to give pile 1. What compliments do people want to give pile 1? So firstly, this crystal was gifted to me. So I'm getting that, since I was very drawn to it for you, maybe people want to shower you with compliments, shower you with gifts accompanied with the compliments. So we have the Eight of Cups. We have the Sun, the Nine of Cups, and the King of Pentacles. For some reason, I'm hearing mainstream media. I don't know what that's about. But with the Queen of Cups here, there's something about people wanting to tell you that you seem deeply caring, emotionally intuitive, nurturing in your own unique way, and you're also calming to be around. People want to compliment your heart, the way you love, your compassion, and I'm hearing spoiled, so people want to compliment you in a way where you're spoiled by their compliments. You just have this presence that makes people feel safe, understood, and soothed, and I feel like a lot of people find you quite likable because of that. This is kind of like you have a nice vibe or a nice aura. Your energy feels healing. That kind of compliment is coming through, and people complimenting your heart. I also see this energy of people complimenting the curls in your hair if you have curls, as we see with this lady here. I'm also heavily noticing like her eyebrows, how thick they look and how beautiful they look and how well they frame her face and how kind of like rosy her lips look and how her skin looks very clear here in this image. So maybe those are things people could want to compliment. Even if you have dark hair, there's something about that coming through as well. She also looks very smart and kind of like put together in the way she's dressed here, so that could be one too. So this goddess here is the goddess of intellect and prophecy. Perhaps people just see you as very smart, but also good at reading people, good at reading situations. Maybe you're very intuitive, and maybe you have like some type of spiritual gift people see that is like very strong and they want to compliment that. People also want to admire your courage and compliment how they admire that. They like that you walk away when something isn't right, that you don't stay in situations that drain you. You know your worth, you choose growth over comfort, and you detach for your own well-being. Although you're this very heart-centered person with the Queen of Cups, you still know your worth and walk away when a situation isn't serving you or is toxic. That's something people see in you, where they see you being emotionally mature and independent, and even though you're this lover at heart, you still value yourself in a way where you won't love at the detriment to you in some way, or the detriment to your well-being. And you are not a pushover in any way. You're not in like a people-pleasing behavior. So this character here is, according to Google, the ferryman of the underworld in Greek mythology, transporting the souls of the dead across rivers. So how I'm interpreting that, according to the Eight of Cups, is maybe you also help people heal. Maybe you also kind of like help people let go of things and help them move over to the next chapter of their life that is maybe a lot more happier and positive with the Sun card. What I'm noticing in this card physically is he has also very thick eyebrows that look nice to me, like in terms of what I'm noticing about the card. He also has these darker eyes that almost seem very intense, but I guess there could be like a sex appeal in your eyes. And then the Sun here. There's something positive, radiant about you. I always see the Sun as somebody with like a beautiful, bright energy about them. You kind of just lighten and brighten the room. Your vibe changes the whole room to make everything feel better. Maybe you're very fun to be around. You're joy to be around. And people love your smile, your laughter. You just have this warm, radiant, youthful, uplifting energy that others feel immediately. Even on days where you feel low, other people might still feel the light around you. The Sun can also indicate somebody having a glow about them, or maybe like bigger, more voluminous hair since it's associated to Leo. Maybe you have this star factor about you too with the Sun, like you attract a lot of attention even when you're not necessarily looking for it. People also want to compliment how they admire your generosity, I'm hearing, your gracefulness, and your charm. there's something about you just carrying yourself in a very classy way, and you don't like seem like the type of person that likes to be in drama, that likes to gossip. You know, even if you have a falling out with a person or you break up with a person, it doesn't seem like you're kind of like bad mouthing them to everybody. You just handle things in kind of like a more mature, classy way. People want to compliment your maturity. So Helios is the Greek god of the sun, responsible for bringing daylight to the world. So kind of straightforward with the sun meaning. And maybe you kind of embody that energy where people see you as like sunshine in human form. The Nine of Cups tells me that a lot of people like you because you seem to tick a lot of the boxes in what they're looking for in friendships with the sun. So a lot of people want to be around you. They want to be your friend. They want to be close to you. They may even want to compliment you, to form some kind of bond with you, not in a manipulative, strategic way, more in a way of like, I admire and I've observed this thing about you and I want to be around you. I want to be your friend. So I'm using it to kind of like lighten the mood. You know what I mean? That kind of energy showing through. The Nine of Cups can also be you being people's physical type in some way romantically. And a lot of people just want your presence around them. They're wanting to tell you that you're wanted, you're desired in some way by many. Or a lot of people just assume that about you, that you're desired by many. The Nine of Cups also tells me that people want to compliment the fact that you know what you want. And you're not going to settle for less based off what we spoke about before with you walking away from situations where respect is not given or where it's just not bringing you positivity with the sun. The fact that you know what you want and you don't settle for less is so sexy, but also so admirable to other people. Other people find you inspiring in some way because of that. And they start to think, oh, I need to get to know myself. I need to get to know what I want, what I don't want. Like pile number 1. You just seem emotionally content with everything you have. You seem to be positive about life. You seem to be like this very cheerful person. And even when things don't go your way, you maybe try to be positive, but maybe you also try to view things in an idealistic mindset with the Nine of Cups next to the sun, where you like to think positively. You like to think that things can go your way. And due to that, maybe you're this manifestation powerhouse, where things do eventually go your way and you do get what you want. People seem to think that you have the kind of life they want. And maybe people want to praise your lifestyle. And you just having your wishes come true with the Nine of Cups as well. Maybe you've had certain wishes come true for you and people want to congratulate you. People want to celebrate that for you and with you. And people also want to compliment your confidence, individuality, and self-sufficiency. You just come across as content with where you are, emotionally fulfilled, self-sustaining, stylish, or aesthetically pleasing. And you have this beautiful presence about you. You're a catch without even trying. She is the goddess of the sea, the queen of the sea. So maybe you embody queen energy or king energy about you, like you carry yourself with this regal energy. Maybe some of you have like a coastal, oceany energy about you, either through the way you're dressing, like maybe there's more of a coastal or boho theme I'm picking up on. Maybe you live near the beach for some. Or you could maybe be a water sign even with the Queen of Cups, or have some Leo placements. With all this water energy, it's kind of like you're just seen as somebody that's flowy, connected to your sensitivity in the most beautiful way. You perhaps know how to like match people's energies and vibes, but water can also be powerful and potent in a way. I feel like there's this energy of you could be vengeful if you wanted to. And maybe that anger, when used in a constructive way, is powerful in some way. And what I mean by that is like maybe using your anger to fuel you to success or to your dream life. Like that quote, the best revenge is a life well lived. That kind of energy showing through here. When I think of water, I think of like how it can be powerful, it can drown people, it can be like that, but I'm thinking of it when it's used constructively. Because we spoke about your maturity, I'm guessing that's the energy that's showing up here. So I'm guessing that people want to compliment that. She also seems to have very dark hair, clear skin, nice lips from what I can see in the card. Maybe even like beautiful soft hands from what I can see in the card. So people could want to compliment that. He also seems to have very thick eyebrows, curly hair. They seem to have like beards here from all these cards. So if you're a man and relate to those things, maybe that's something people want to compliment. Or even if you have like a little bit of wave or swoop in your hair, the woman here could have like particularly long dark hair. Okay, I'm seeing a vision of somebody sitting in a salon chair and they're getting their hair done and they're like looking in a magazine. So if you've recently been to a salon, maybe other women or other people there, people that may not even know you, would just want to compliment you, maybe for the way your hair looked afterwards, or, let's say you were getting your nails done or something, maybe another woman wanted to compliment that or another person. Maybe you're somebody that's big on self-care, you go to the salon a lot. Maybe you're seen as a little bit high maintenance with, the upkeep of your physical beauty. People could want to compliment things like your hair, your nails, based off me seeing the salon. Maybe you're also big on self-care, skincare, since I mentioned clear skin a lot. And I'm seeing this spoiled princess energy, but not in a bad way, of almost like people wanting to treat you with princess treatment or prince treatment. Like, people kind of just see you as the best of the best in some way. High maintenance, but there's almost like this energy of people know that you're a quality person. And it's not just because of physical beauty. Like, yes, the physical beauty is there, but it's also because of the personality traits you have, where you're a lot of people's ideal with the Nine of Cups. I also heard the word patience, so maybe people want to compliment that. The King of Pentacles tells me that you're probably somebody that's working towards a better financial state, especially with the Nine of Cups next to it. Maybe you're following your dreams, wanting your dreams to become a reality and wanting to make that financially successful for you so that you can have everything you want, need, and more, so that you can have the lifestyle you desire. Because I see that maybe you have like more of an expensive or luxurious taste. Like earlier in my mind's eye, I was seeing someone in like silk pajamas or with like silk bedding or like, like expensive things like Egyptian cotton. I'm seeing things like that in my mind's eye. So maybe you have a bougie way of dressing, or maybe you just seem like you would like more of a luxurious lifestyle and people think you have the potential to get there, to make your dreams a reality. People love the fact that you're not giving up on your dreams. And it inspires them to also go after their own dreams and make it a reality. There's something also about having a beautiful singing voice, because I'm hearing somebody sing in my mind. And it's just this beautiful voice. It's not a particular song, just like kind of like melodies, I guess. What I also see with the King of Pentacles is people want to tell you that they see you as stable, reliable, grounded, financially responsible, mature, and somebody that handles life well. You just seem put together in the best way. People respect you and they view you as somebody that makes solid life choices and is building something real. They also see you as somebody that deserves good partners, good opportunities, and good treatment. Of course, everybody does, but this is just what I see in the energy. I'm noticing in a lot of these cards, they all have very dark, pretty sultry eyes. Like, regardless of gender, there's like seductive eyes here. If you're a man, people could compliment your muscles. If you're a woman, people could compliment your body, especially the upper half of the body, like the chest area, your arms, your back, your stomach. There's just something about your physique people want to compliment. Okay, and then he from this card was a titan, god of heavenly light, and a god of watchfulness. So maybe there's something heavenly, angelic, or pure about you. His name also kind of reminds me of somebody that's like very hyper. So maybe you're someone with a lot of energy. And how I'd apply it according to the cards we have here is maybe you have a lot of life force energy that helps you make your dreams a reality. Like maybe you're hardworking in some way and you have this like determination and kind of like strength to keep pushing through more than the average person. Maybe some of you are a little bit of workaholics, maybe you have a busy lifestyle, and it seems like you're happy with it. You don't necessarily get burnt out or stretched out too thin. You're handling it all well, at least according to other people. Maybe you're also very observant. That's what I'm getting from his energy intuitively. Okay, we have 2 last cards here, and then I'm going to use some more clairvoyance to get more on the physical and anything else that wants to come through. So we have the 10 of Swords and 8 of Wands. This came out earlier when I was shuffling. And we have the Knight of Pentacles at the back of the deck. I heard the word resentment, but earlier we were talking about maturity and you using your anger in a constructive way. So what I'm getting from that is maybe you have realized you had resentment towards certain people that treated you wrong, that betrayed you, that just made you suffer in some way with the 10 of Swords. You felt as though you didn't deserve that treatment, and that's so valid to feel. But maybe you're turning that resentment and that anger into your power. You're using it to fuel you towards something productive or something that's going to make your life better. Or there is an energy here to do that if you feel you relate to the anger, the resentment that's there. People want to compliment the fact that you can accept that you feel angry about this, because a lot of times we try to make it seem like we don't care, like we're not hurt by what happened, like we're over it. But here there's an admittance in I'm angry and I feel that way, but still not acting on it in a way that would be just self-destructive and destructive to maybe others. It's kind of like you're taking that you're healing with the Queen of Cups, and you're choosing to not let your heart grow bitter. And the reason I'm saying that is because we have the Queen of Cups here. There's a still like an inner softness, a peacefulness in you. So maybe you're transmuting that pain into something powerful. People want to compliment your energy, your momentum. I keep seeing your energy, your vibe. If you have hair that is kind of like flowy, soft, brown, brunette, maybe has shades of red, like in the sun, or if you have red hair, that could be something people want to compliment. I keep getting your lips from all these cards, because their lips like really stand out, especially like the color of them and the gloss here. They see you as quick-witted, passionate, motivated, exciting to talk to, and someone who can make things happen fast. Your presence feels lively and stimulating, and people are also drawn to your communication style, even if you don't realize how charismatic you are. If you're a woman and you're particularly athletic or you're fit in some way, people could also want to compliment that because she's running here. Or if you're like building muscle, like if you're building your glutes or something, maybe people notice it and they want to compliment it. Or maybe you have like a muscular toned body and people want to compliment that. People also want to compliment how your mind just moves in quick ways. You're quick on your feet. You're always like one step ahead of others. And I don't want to like compare you to others, but that's just what's coming through genuinely. I'm also seeing something about like being very neat, organized, like everything is just put in its place where it's meant to be according to your environment. Maybe there's also something about your eyeshadow, like accentuating the beauty of your eyes if you wear makeup. I'm even seeing like the inner highlight of the eye, like if you put highlighter there to make your eyes pop, or highlighter on your cheekbones, or like there's this glow to your skin, like I mentioned before. I'm seeing it again. Even gloss on your lips, people could want to compliment that. People want to compliment your resilience with the Ten of Swords, how much you survived, and it seems like you had some comeback after the pain. You rebuild yourself, and you're strong despite past losses, but you also keep that inner softness and gracefulness with you. People admire this deeply, but they keep quiet about it because they don't want to accidentally trigger old wounds and reopen the wound for you. People also want to compliment your consistency. When you want something, it's like you're consistent as you take action towards it. When you make your mind up about something, you don't go back and change your mind later, unless later things don't work out and things move to something different. But most of the time, you stick to your decisions, you stick to your promises you've made, you come across as reliable, and yeah, you stick to the plans you make for the future. That's the energy I'm getting in terms of what people want to compliment. This is also reminding me of Atlanta. Maybe somebody lives in Atlanta. Okay, now let's just get some clairvoyant messages. I don't think I'm going to pull zodiacs in this reading because I feel like I already took long, and I'm going to take a little bit longer with the visions, but okay. Well, I am seeing Libra energy in my mind's eye, so maybe Spirit will give some zodiacs from my mind's eye. I'm also seeing a lot of books. Maybe you read a lot. People could want to compliment your mind. Maybe you're very eloquent in the way you speak because you read a lot. Maybe someone here knows multiple languages and you speak it very fluently. Or maybe you've studied something and you did very well in your academics. Especially if you graduated recently for someone, people could want to compliment that, congratulate that. I'm seeing the number 69, so there may be like more sensual compliments coming through, like compliments about your body and sex appeal. Maybe some people even feel some sexual attraction towards you, and their compliment has that kind of tone to it. I'm seeing some kind of musical talent in my mind's eye, but even if it's not musical talent, there's just something about your talents people want to compliment. I'm seeing sunglasses, particularly cat's eye sunglasses, or like the rounder kind of sunglasses, but that specifically doesn't have to resonate with everybody. But overall, people just want to compliment the sunglasses. Maybe they frame your face really well. Maybe they suit you. They look good on you. They almost make you look cool in a way. And maybe also your accessories with sunglasses coming through. Like if you wear bracelets, jewelry, watches, anything of the sort. Someone here could be good at like decorating, making cakes, or just baking. I'm even seeing witchy energy in this pile. I'm seeing like a love potion. So either I am picking up on like some people that practice magic, or people just feel like they're under a love spell and they want to like keep showering you with compliments, even if there was no love spell. People want to tell you the more sensual fantasies they have about you in the form of a compliment. Yeah, I'm seeing watches and bracelets now in my mind's eye. I'm also seeing your eyelashes. I'm seeing like longer eyelashes, but it goes from short to long at the end. I'm not sure if that's cat's eye. Please like educate me if you know. But it goes from like shorter at the front and then longer at the end. So whether your eyelashes are naturally like this or not, or naturally long or not, people could just want to compliment them. There's a hotness about you physically. Some even feel a spark with you. You leave some kind of strong imprint on people, like you're unforgettable in some way. I'm also seeing particularly larger breasts in my mind's eye, like a larger chest on a woman. So again, like there's more sexual compliments coming through, compliments about your body. I'm seeing somebody that plays tennis. Maybe you play very well, or like I said earlier, it could be like you living an active lifestyle, kind of just keeping your body active and fit. And now in my mind's eye, I'm seeing like very white teeth that seem kind of straight, but naturally like that, not veneers or anything. And the teeth just look very beautiful with a smile, like a stunning or handsome smile. Earlier I mentioned that, but now I'm seeing like more of the teeth. So I guess that contributes to like why people want to compliment your smile. I said style by accident, but maybe people also want to compliment your style. And there's also something about the length of your nose. Spirit isn't showing me like particularly a long or short nose, but something about the length of your nose, and the nose from the side profile looks good. Okay, so that is where I'm going to leave your reading. I do hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Pile 2, you chose the Malachite crystal and the Knight of Wands. We're going to be taking a look at compliments people want to give you. So immediately I'm picking up on a quick-wittedness. I'm picking up on somebody that can come across as a little bit vain, but people find it sexy. People find it sexy that you believe in yourself, that you can look in the mirror and admit that you're hot, that you kind of just like show off a little bit. I feel like people secretly admire that about you and like that about you because you're upfront with like, okay, this is other people's perception. Even if you don't relate, this is just how I'm reading the energy. Some people view it as like you're upfront with your vainness and they secretly love it because a lot of people pretend to be humble even when they're not secretly. So that's the energy I'm getting. Okay, spirit guides of pile number 2. What compliments do people want to give them? Here we have the King of Swords. People respect you and look up to you in some way. We have the King of Swords, Four of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Chariot. Something about the way your voice sounds over the phone. If you're a man, I'm seeing a particularly raspy or deeper voice. Especially like when you wake up in the morning, maybe your voice sounds hot in some way. If you're a woman, I'm picking up on like more of a sultry kind of voice. Like your voice sounds more mature in a like sultry, sexy way. And almost very seductive on its own. You don't even have to say anything remotely sexual in nature. You don't even have to flirt. Your voice is just seductive on its own. So I'm seeing like a Chinese language writing in my mind's eye, I think. Or like Asian writing in my mind's eye. So maybe there could be some that are Asian in this pile. With the Knight of Wands, people want to compliment your bravery, your courage, how you just seem like this go-getter. You also seem confident in yourself, and you seem to carry this like strength with you, either physically or internally, like within your demeanor, the way you carry yourself. You come across as a little bit intimidating, but in a sexy way. What I'm also getting is that you can be competitive where it matters, not competitive with other people, maybe, but more so like competitive in the sense where you want to win, you want to kind of like achieve something great for yourself. Competitive in the sense where it motivates everybody to kind of like go after what they want and find a way to win in some way. People think that you're exciting, unpredictable in a good way, bold, magnetic, and someone that brings some kind of like high energy wherever you go. They see you as somebody that can spark inspiration or adrenaline in others. You may be very spontaneous and adrenaline driven with the Knight of Wands. Like maybe you do a lot of things that kind of like seem a little out there in some way, like I don't know, flying off a plane. Maybe I'm picking up on some adrenaline junkies in this pile. Or maybe you could travel a lot. You could like to go on hikes. You could live maybe a more active lifestyle. You're not afraid to go after what you want. That's what people secretly want to compliment, because some people secretly want something and then they're too afraid to go after it or admit that they want it, but you're not. There's also something about a good taste in food snacks. Like, you always know the best snacks, because I'm tasting like chips, like Dorito kind of chips. Anyways, I'm also seeing this kind of energy of like you're more attractive than you realize. Even in a platonic context, like people kind of think that. Based off what I'm seeing in the card here, he kind of has cheeks that seem a little bit like reddish. Maybe you have like a tint to your cheeks. If you're a woman, maybe you like to put on blush. Maybe it looks very good on you. It suits you. Or you could just like have naturally rosy skin by the cheeks. I'm also noticing that he has like high cheekbones, eyes that are almost like piercing in a good way. I think he has freckles. I'm not really sure. Maybe people could compliment your freckles. Dark hair, like brunette hair. There's this kind of like intimidating hot energy about you. What I'm also noticing is the shape of his nose quite prominently and his jawline. So those could be things people would want to compliment, and his lips as well. You could be the type of person with genuine goodness in your heart. You always want to help other people or save other people in some way. You're always striving to like help others, give other people good advice. People could also want to compliment your muscles if you're a man, or just the physique in general, regardless of gender. So Hercules showing up in this card was a hero of immense strength and famous for kind of like his strength, I guess, and like kind of being that hero. So maybe some of you show up in that energy. With the King of Swords, people could want to compliment your mind. They see you as very intelligent. You have very good ideas. People see you as intelligent, quick thinking, articulate, sharp, and observant. You're able to see through You're also able to see through BS. You're honest, and you may be strategic in the sense of your goals and where you want to be with the Knight of Wands, like very ambitious and planning it out in your head strategically so that you make the right moves. If you have light hair like this person here, then maybe that could be something people could want to compliment. We even see blonde hair here. Your side profile is coming through, as both these cards are showing. Well, even this card is showing the side profile. For the women watching, I'm hearing that song, I'm Every Woman. I'm not sure who sings it. I feel like you intimidate people mentally. People sometimes feel like they're not smart enough to be around you, or like there's a little bit of fear of like, if I talk to you, will you see me as unintelligent because you're intelligent? They don't want to like seem inferior next to you. In Greek mythology, Uranus is the personification of the sky. Maybe there's just something very airy about you in some way. Maybe I could be picking up on a lot of air signs. We also have Pisces energy with the High Priestess, and the Chariot is Cancer. Maybe some fire sign energy too. I heard good at lying, but I'm also getting someone that's like good at storytelling. Like, you know how to tell interesting stories, keep a conversation going, and people feel attracted to your mind with the King of Swords. Now, with the Four of Cups, people think that you're hard to impress, that you don't chase people, that you have high standards, and that you don't settle. There's almost like this energy of like, ugh, I'm bored. Like, what do you have to offer me? kind of energy. Maybe you don't act like that, but there's almost like this energy of like, again, you being hard to impress in some way. Maybe you easily show your boredom, like if somebody can't keep the conversation going. Maybe it's not the best, but it is coming through. But it kind of makes people want to kind of like impress you and try even harder. It kind of makes people want to keep you excited and interested in the conversation when they can see you're getting bored. Does that make sense? I feel like people want to compliment that. You carry yourself like somebody that knows your worth. People also think you have some kind of self-control. But sometimes they interpret it as disinterest, and it might not be that. But because you seem disinterested, it's almost like people want to try harder. I feel like romantically, people like it when you chase after them. You're fun to be around, a good time like in dating and love. Maybe you're more of the type of person that likes to keep it casual with the Four of Cups, Knight of Wands. Unless you find someone like you really have depth with a High Priestess, then maybe you take it more seriously, love. I mean, like love and dating. But some people want to praise this lifestyle where it's like you have more casual relationships than long-term relationships. Maybe you're just in a phase of life right now where you're focusing on your goals and you're not ready to settle down yet. But I feel like that's something people do want to compliment. There's something about your sex appeal with both this card and the devil at the back of the deck. This talks about people lusting over you, but I'm seeing it like based off her demeanor because it's very sensual, like the way she's touching her body. There's something about the way you move. There's something about your sex appeal people want to compliment. If you're a woman and you like move your hips when you walk, that could be something too. And what I'm noticing in this card is she's wearing modest clothing, but she still looks seductive in her demeanor. So even if you dress modestly, there's still a seduction here, but some of you may not, because I'm getting this vibe of like wearing corsets, like with this card here. Maybe like corsets look very good on you if you wear them often. I'm also getting the imagery here of like somebody that maybe likes to wear darker clothes. Maybe it suits you. Maybe dark colors suits you in terms of clothing. I'm picking up on somebody that maybe likes alt aesthetics, dark coquette aesthetic. Maybe like more of a sultry aesthetic too, like to the way you dress. I'm also getting somebody that likes to wear like a lot of dresses, or like dresses that kind of show off their physique or body, that are like tight around the waist. There's something about your hair people want to compliment. No matter what your hair looks like, I'm noticing hers looks very long and straight and kind of glossy. Hers looks kind of like curled, very blonde. But even the males here have like different hair types, but I'm all noticing their hair like kind of stands out in some way. So this goddess is both a goddess of the river of the underworld, and she's a boundary between the living and the dead. And Persephone, I think she's like the wife of Hades, which he like rules the underworld. We also have Hades here at the back of the deck. Maybe there's this energy with the underworld showing up here of you kind of just being comfortable with maybe the dark aspects of yourself, like either the dark divine feminine, dark divine masculine. It's like you're comfortable with your shadow. You've maybe integrated your shadow in some way. And what I could take from this is even traits society would consider as bad, these are maybe the traits people secretly like in you, where they want to compliment those things. Like things you could have deemed as bad, or things society told you to push inside, or to kind of like repress. Like almost like the Lilith energy. Like think of like your Lilith in your birth chart. Think of the placement you have there. Maybe things within that are like things people want to compliment. So for example, Lilith and Scorpio, like my placement could be like sensuality, power, things like that. I'm not familiar with all the placements, but like maybe Google your Lilith placement and that could tell you into like your kind of side of you that people secretly admire but may have been labeled like bad by other people, where other people like wanted you to repress that within yourself. So there's something very loyal about you. You're also very powerful in some way. So I'm also reading up that this goddess, her name actually means hatred. So maybe people love to hate on you. Maybe sometimes people envy you, but people that love to hate on you could also secretly like certain things that they want to compliment, and then they almost like try to humble you to make it seem, or they don't compliment you because they don't want to like seem like they admire you in some way. So even your haters are fans and want to compliment you is what I'm taking from that. There's this light in your eyes. I'm hearing like a spark within your eyes. Your eyes kind of like glisten in some way. I don't know if you've seen like when a person has like no life in their eyes, and then compared to like a person where they have like life in their eyes are like still beaming, glowing in some way, like the energy behind it. I don't know if you've seen what I mean, but I'm seeing that in my mind's eye of like your eyes kind of still having a spark of life in them. The high priestess represents your spiritual power, your spiritual abilities. Maybe you're just very protected energetically, but you're also very psychic or very intuitive. So you always like clock things before they happen. Maybe you've predicted a few things. Maybe you're always able to read people very well. And you're always correct even when people think you're not. Even when people are just like disinterested in what you have to say, it always comes true, or most of the time it does. And you prove people wrong in that sense. So that could be something people want to compliment, or just spiritual gifts are yours. And spiritual gifts don't always have to be intuition. It could be like having a gift of creativity, and that's your spiritual gift, like your divine power. You know what I mean? There's something about your talents, your gifts coming through. The high priestess also represents somebody mysterious in a sexy, compelling way, that your intuition is scarily accurate, that you seem psychically or spiritually gifted. You have this like uncannily knowing about things, and you read between the lines better than anybody. Maybe you're very observant. People don't say this because they don't want to feel exposed, or sometimes they don't want to admit that you're right about a situation, but sometimes people feel very seen, sometimes a little bit too seen, and that catches them off guard. The thing is, you're hard to read, but you read other people very well, and your presence feels kind of otherworldly or rare in some way. The high priestess also tells me that people want to compliment your secretiveness or your privacy, because the high priestess kind of like keeps some information to herself. So there's something about your privacy people secretly like, where it's like, and the reason why I keep saying secretly is because the energy here feels very secretive, where people want to compliment these things but kind of keep it to themselves with the high priestess. And I've been feeling it the whole reading, which is why I say secretly for your pile. What was I saying now? Oh yeah, they want to compliment your privacy, because it's like you don't just share everything about yourself and your life. And I feel like sometimes people like want to go digging for information on you, or sometimes that mystery like catches them off guard and makes them like want to kind of chase after you in some way, or get you to open up to them. It kind of makes them feel like they have to put in extra effort to get that information out of you about who you are. And that just seems very sexy in a way. In this card, I'm noticing the contrast between her light hair and her skin, eyebrows, and eyes. She seems to have very dark eyes, dark eyebrows, and lighter hair. Maybe some of you relate to that. It's very beautiful. She also has these lips that kind of seem very pouty and kind of what's the word? Full in some way. She has a very cute nose as well that seems a little bit wider, like more of a like wider button nose. I'm guessing if that's the right word. I'm also very drawn to her nails. They look kind of like sharp, like stiletto nails. Maybe some like to wear stiletto nails, or like I said, corsets and things like that. There's something about your beauty that seems ethereal with the High Priestess, regardless of gender. Almost like haunting in the best way. So since Persephone is the goddess of spring and the underworld, there's this energy of your duality that people want to compliment. People want to compliment your good traits, or what society deems as good, and your more negative traits, but it seems like you've integrated both your light and shadows, and people want to compliment that. Like, you can admit your strengths and weaknesses kind of energy. I'm also hearing that people want to compliment your stability. People may even, when they're like romantically interested, want to shower you with like not only compliments, but they also want to do like romantic gestures where they give you flowers, as we see in this card here, since she has like all these flowers there. They kind of feel like chasing after you, but being chased by you too. So with the Chariot, people can tell that you've gone through challenges in life and you've overcome it. You're not scared of a challenge. You have this inner resilience and strength about you where you're able to move past things you've been through, but you don't necessarily have this victim mentality, and you don't even necessarily talk about challenges you've been through. You kind of just take the wisdom from it with the High Priestess next to the Chariot, and you move forward in the most beautiful way. People see you as somebody that has drive, ambition, and unstoppable energy. Nothing can stop you when it comes to going after your goals, and perhaps you even use intuition, pattern recognition skills, and your intellect to strategically get you to where you want to be. The Chariot is also an action-orientated card, so it's not only that you're planning toward your goals in your future, but you're also taking action towards it. People see you as somebody that doesn't complain, stays focused, says, oh, that's life, doesn't necessarily like stay in victim mentality. You push through the obstacles and you are going somewhere. You have success, you have a purpose, or you're at least looking for one, and you have direction. You know where you're gonna go next. This compliment feels too personal, too vulnerable, so people keep it quiet, and people definitely believe genuinely that you're going to achieve major things based off these great qualities you have. Like, they can see it. It's bound to happen based off these qualities you have. And then with the devil at the back of the deck, people tend to obsess over you in some way. And when they want to compliment you, it's like they're so obsessed with you that they're afraid they come on too strong. So they may hide the fact that they admire you with the High Priestess. They may keep it a secret because they don't want to seem too obsessed. Because this is the kind of energy of like, I noticed you taking action towards this thing. But if I go and compliment it, you're going to be like, how did you know that? Because I didn't tell everybody. You'd have to be really watching to even know that. So by inherently complimenting you, they would give themselves away. Does that make sense? Let's say you posted something on your private story and maybe they kind of viewed it. Now they don't want to seem like they are viewing every like private story of yours. Or let's say you posted something on your story and they viewed from a fake account, and if they had to tell you, you would clock that they viewed it from a fake account. There's that kind of energy of like, I don't want to reveal my obsession. I don't want to reveal that I've been watching you. So I can't compliment you, because if I did, you would know that I've been watching you obsessively. People also want to compliment your scent. Something about your scent is coming through. If you're a male and have like this kind of hairstyle where you make it like a little bit messy, a little bit not too perfect people like that. I keep seeing the physique for men. Also, you have like very handsome facial features. And there's also something about you not morally compromising. Like you stick to your morals. There's also something cute but sexually appealing about you. If you're a man, there's something about like your stubble and your lips. I'm seeing like particularly thinner lips with this pile. But also for the women, like you could have thinner lips that seem more full in nature or like more pouty. If you're a man, there's something about your arms and like Adam's apple that's sexy. Okay, now for this last section of the reading, we also have Capricorn energy with the devil at the back of the deck. Now for this last section of the reading, I'm just going to see what I can get clairvoyantly. I'm not going to pull zodiacs today because I'm using this section of the reading to get clairvoyant messages. So I'm seeing like a temperature thingy that is getting so hot that it breaks. So people just see you as like so hot that you're almost like out of their league. Like the scale is breaking. If they had to like rate you out of 1 to 10, it would be like 100. There's just something about your hotness. I'm seeing a hair straightener. So if you have straight hair or you straighten your hair, people could want to compliment that. I'm seeing somebody that doesn't give up even when they're not skilled at a thing, even when they feel like giving up. So I see somebody trying to do something that's outside their comfort zone with a skill that they don't have, and they're close to giving up, but they're determined to push through anyway and get it done anyway, even though they feel so frustrated with the process because they don't know what to do. So there's something about that coming through, like you get outside of your comfort zone, you try things outside of your usual skills, and even when it's frustrating, you continue with the process. I'm seeing eyes in my mind's eye, so people could want to compliment your eyes. I'm seeing smaller or more almond-looking eyes in my mind's eye, but also in the cards. I'm seeing great dental hygiene. I'm seeing Sagittarius energy in my mind's eye as well. I'm also seeing somebody that's very analytical, maybe good at maths or good at like solving problems. I'm seeing somebody that's very physically tall, so people could want to compliment your height if you are tall. But even if not, there's just something about your height showing through. Or there's something about you having like this expansive, big energy about you. Like you take up space. I'm seeing a natural beauty with this pile, but when you do wear makeup, you maybe use it to enhance your naturally beautiful features. It looks light on the face, in the sense of not cakey, and it kind of just enhances the natural beauty without looking too cakey or too much. And don't get me wrong, I love a full face of makeup, but I'm just reading the energy here. I'm also picking up on somebody that's very talkative. If you're a woman and you wear like hair clips or hair accessories, people could want to compliment that. I'm even seeing like those headbands that are kind of like, they have like I don't know whether to call it a spike, but you know how like combs have those bristle things, and it has that, and it kind of like pushes the hair back with like the bristles, kind of like similar to a comb. I'm seeing that kind of like hair accessory. I don't know if I'm explaining it properly, sorry, but anyways. I'm seeing soft hands, soft skin in general, like moisturized skin. Also, you don't get embarrassed by things. Like, you don't seem to, like, get cringed by things. You're kind of just accepting everything. Like, even if another person intentionally tries to embarrass you, you don't get embarrassed by it. I'm seeing somebody that wants to compliment your parenting skills if you are a parent. that you're a good parent. People also want to compliment the way you decorate your home. If you're an interior designer, that could also be something people want to compliment, like the way you do your job. People also want to compliment the way you kind of cut people off. Your cutoff game is strong. And I'm also getting this energy of someone that won't allow themselves to be used or taken advantage of. People want to compliment your affection, your hugs, the way it feels to hold your hand. It feels so comforting. Regardless of whether or not you like physical affection, people like physical affection from you. People want to compliment your eye color. I'm seeing mostly darker eyes in this pile, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just seeing the eye color. And also something about the shape of the nails, the way the nails are filed. Something about thinner eyebrows or eyebrows, the way you like tweeze your eyebrows or wax or thread them, they look like very clean, very neat, like your eyebrows. There's something about the symmetry of the face people want to compliment. The way your outfits kind of just match and are cohesive as well. Even with the textures of the clothes and the kind of shape of the clothes and how they match together, something about that is coming through. I'm even seeing like headbands that are like bows, if anybody wears that. I'm seeing the ones that you put on like when you are putting on makeup. So maybe someone has like a cute one headband that they put on while they're wearing makeup and while they're putting on makeup, and people want to compliment that. There's something sparkly either about you, the clothes you wear. Maybe you like to wear glitter a lot, or you just have a sparkly personality. I'm also picking up on somebody that seems to be good with animals. And I'm picking up on somebody that likes to DIY stuff and it looks very pretty. Also something about your resourcefulness. There's also something about your patience and temperament. Like, there are situations where it's kind of valid to lose your temper, your patience, that people have seen you in. Let's say a person's like being very annoying and the person almost looks at you and sees you trying to not lose your patience and they're like, oh, you're better than me. I probably would have like snapped at the person if I were you, but you kind of held it together. There's something about that showing through. And I'm also seeing the life you're creating for yourself, your potential or creativity, and also the way you're so protective over yourself, but also others, as well as the stability you're building for yourself, both financially, emotionally, mentally, physically. If you're a woman, something about the handbags you wear. I'm seeing like tote bags specifically, but it doesn't have to be that. So that is all I have for you, pile number 2. I really hope this reading resonated. Please let me know how this resonated down in the comments below. Thank you for watching and being here, and I can't wait to see you next time. Pile 3, you chose the clear quartz rock and the Judgement card. We're going to be taking a look at compliments people want to give you. So firstly, I'm picking up on somebody with a very bubbly, warm personality. Even when a stranger meets you, there's something about your energy that seems warm and inviting. Something about your demeanor, the way you speak to them. It seems like you're excited to speak to them, happy to get to know them. And it just makes people feel more comfortable around you, like they have a friend, even if they're not necessarily friends with you. It feels like they have a safe haven with you. A lot of people feel that way. Some may even rely on you too much. You may be very extroverted, or if you're not extroverted, you could just be good at talking to people, good with your communication skills, good at like breaking the ice, making the moment less awkward and more lighthearted. I see shy people, introverted people gravitating towards you because it's like they're scared to go up to strangers and talk to them, but maybe you like invite them to a lot of people, make them more comfortable in social settings and situations, and sometimes they may rely on you a lot for that comfort because they're like too shy. But then there's like this energy of them admiring your courageousness when it comes to like just your social skills, being able to go up to random people, talk to them, being able to just start conversations and keep a conversation going, and just break the ice and make it less awkward. I'm seeing the heart eye emoji in my mind's eye, so a lot of people look at you with heart eyes, metaphorically. So we have the Ten of Cups reversed, the King of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. In my mind's eye, I'm seeing somebody that's very blunt, that just says things as they are. And sometimes you just point out the obvious, and it's really funny. Like, I don't know, you're just like really funny even when you're not trying to be. Like sometimes your bluntness kind of brings that reaction to people. I'm seeing someone with a balayage. If you have that, people could want to compliment it. Or I'm seeing like a hair color that is almost like lighter at the ends of the hair and darker at the root, where it kind of like blends together seamlessly. Very beautiful. People almost look at you as if you're too innocent for this world. Like, I want to protect you from the whole world because you're too innocent, too sweet. You know how to say harsh things in a way where it eases the pain, or kind of like softens the blow. Like, you're still blunt in a way, but you know how to like say it in a way that the other person would be receptive to the truth and not hurt by it. And like, you could say certain things and people wouldn't get mad when you say the blunt truth, but maybe another person would say it in like a different tone. And maybe their tone would rub people the wrong way. Do you get what I mean? Maybe you say it in a very matter-of-factly way, but you're still considerate of other people's feelings in some way. So I feel like people are more accepting of it when it comes from you than when it comes to other people, and people do want to compliment that kind of trait you have. It's refreshing to see someone be so honest and so truthful, where they don't hold back, but in a way that's still respectful of others. And I feel like that has brought a wake-up call to many people, where they realize where they need to wake up, where they need to grow, where they need to change something in their life or in themselves. There's something about you that just comes across as very cute in every way. I am seeing Bernadette from Big Bang Theory. Maybe some of you could have a look that's similar to hers, or a personality that's similar to hers. I'm seeing something about someone wearing like bracelets, like a lot of bracelets on their arm. And when they move, like it makes a sound. Like there's this kind of like jingly sound. I don't know if I call it jingly, but for lack of better term, yeah. Or I'm seeing someone walk with like high heels, and then there's like this clickety clack kind of like sound that comes from their heels. Something about that, like the sound that your movement makes. Does that make sense? Even if it's not heels or bracelets, like, I don't know what you're wearing, but something about the sound of like when you walk or something. I'm also picking up on somebody with maybe a more curvy or kind of voluptuous type of body type. I'm seeing like an hourglass body type in my mind's eye. So people could want to compliment your body type if you're like on the curvier side, but even if you're not, your body is definitely coming through. And even if you're on the slimmer side, maybe there's still some curve to your body that people want to compliment. You also take the time out of your day to greet people, to talk to people. You make time for people, and it makes them feel special. People secretly want to compliment that, but they don't want to seem like, don't get me wrong, they're appreciative of it, but they don't want to like seem too emotional. I don't know why they would seem emotional, but that's how they feel. I'm also picking up on a pile that has a strong perfectionism about them. Like, you're very hard on yourself, very perfectionistic about yourself. And sometimes people feel the need to say, be gentler with yourself, be kinder to yourself. But when they view it from another perspective and see how far it's brought you, because you're able to look at yourself from an outside point of view and kind of objectively see what needs to be worked on, it allows you to almost give yourself that constructive criticism to continue growing, to continue making the things you do better in some way and improving, and not just thinking, oh, I'm fine, there's nothing to improve on. Of course, we should be kind to ourselves, but I guess when they view it from that perspective, they kind of see the growth it's brought you. People want to say that you've changed a lot, that you've leveled up spiritually and emotionally. You seem to be constantly working on yourself, improving in some way, not just with talents, skills, things you want to improve at physically, but also with your own internal growth. You're always striving to become a better version of yourself, and you're becoming your true and ideal self. People see that happening. People see you changing and leveling up, and they want to congratulate you on that. They want to congratulate you on the progress you've made that they've noticed, but they don't want to make it too obvious that they've noticed your progress, because then it would seem like they've been watching your progress. And sometimes they're a little bit shy to admit that. Sometimes people want to come up to you and compliment these things, but they're a little bit shy to even strangers. I'm seeing the movie Death Becomes Her. So in the movie, there was a kind of theme. I watched it a long time ago, so if I'm a little bit hazy on the details, forgive me, but there was this kind of theme of them wanting to stay youthful and young forever, going to the point where they became immortal and was ruining their bodies in the process by keeping on trying to become too perfect. So, and stay young forever. So I'm thinking of how I can interpret that. Maybe some of you somewhat relate to that, where you're doing certain things to keep yourself looking young. Of course, society says that we should accept the aging process, and while I would want to agree on that, and I do agree with that, sometimes it is easier said than done. Of course, I'm still young, I haven't gone through the aging process yet, but I can imagine it can kind of be hard, especially with the beauty standards. So I believe anybody can do what they want with their body. If you have gotten plastic surgery to, I don't know, make yourself look younger, maybe people see it, maybe they think it's working. Or if you're doing kind of beauty routines that will allow yourself to stay looking youthful, maybe people notice that. But people just worry that you don't take it too far, where you end up being unhappy with yourself. So that is what I'm seeing here in the reading. There's also some kind of seductiveness about your demeanor. The way you kind of pose, the way you stand, the way you move. There's also something about you just being very good at flirting, getting your way, and, creating lighthearted conversations that kind of seem a little bit flirtatious in a way. I'm seeing lots of Libra energy with this pile. This type of energy of beauty, being good with aesthetics, knowing how to make yourself look aesthetically pleasing. And you don't necessarily have to fit a certain aesthetic, a certain way of looking, but maybe you just know how to make everything look aesthetically pleasing, beautiful. Both yourself, others, people you give makeup overs to, and maybe your home too. You know how to kind of beautify things and people and yourself. Athena is a goddess that is known for her strength. She kind of reminds me of that warrioress energy. So maybe people do admire your strength and want to compliment that. She's showing up with this card. She's also the goddess of wisdom, warfare, and handicrafts. So maybe you are good at knowing which battles to pick with your wisdom. Maybe you fight for what is right. That's how I'm reading this energy, because the Four of Swords here tells me that maybe you're somebody that likes having more peace in your life, but maybe you fight for what is right in some way. Advocate for what is right. And yeah, people also want to compliment your wisdom. But maybe when you do have drama here or there, you know how to like maybe give comebacks that are very good, very smart. Maybe that's something people could want to compliment, or you know how to kind of get back at the person. But most of the time you choose peace with the Four of Swords, not drama. And I think people do want to compliment that, but maybe like there are times where someone does get on your nerves and you do react back. In this card, I'm noticing that she has like these sultry lips, sultry demeanor, seductive demeanor about her, pouty kind of full lips. That's the thing I'm noticing. And I also was noticing her hair, which is why I mentioned like balayage. It was reminding me of that earlier. She also seems to have like a good structure to her face, like her cheekbones and jawline. With the Ten of Cups reversed, people admire you for not giving up on your happiness even though you experienced emotional disappointments, loneliness, or lack of support in the past. Maybe you come across as somebody that is a little bit more detached in nature, not so emotional. You don't necessarily play into like a fairy tale when it comes to love. You're not necessarily naive when it comes to love. You look at things realistically, and even if you do want more long-term, deeper connections in your life, you're kind of only wanting to commit to people that are going to bring you that long-term fulfillment. You're not necessarily going to commit to somebody that isn't bringing you peace or long-term fulfillment in any type of way. It's like the connection has to be meaningful before you see yourself being with them for a long time. And you have to like genuinely see a future with a person to commit to them. So that's what I'm getting that people want to compliment you about. You've been through emotional letdowns. You don't always have the support system you deserve, yet you still try, you still show up, you still hope, you still try to make friendships, you still try to like have the love you know you desire and deserve. People quietly think that you deserve better, but they don't say it because it might feel too personal or too heavy. Okay, and there's something here about wearing lipstick in a way where maybe you wear like more nudes or browns based off this card for someone here. Maybe you like to kind of like play with contrast with makeup, because what I'm noticing here is her cheek contour is a little bit darker and her highlighter is a little bit lighter, creating some kind of contrast and depth in her face. Then what I'm noticing is she kind of seems to have like a lip liner that's darker around the lips and a lipstick that's a little bit lighter. So maybe some of you like to play around with that kind of style. Maybe you are also creative with your makeup, playful with it, not too serious with it, as we can see she is here. And she also has darker hair, so some could have darker hair, some could have lighter ends, darker roots. Well, most people in these cards have like brunette hair, so I guess I could be picking up on that for the majority. If I see anything else physically clairvoyantly, I'll let you know. And this card is represented by female spirits or nymphs of fresh water in Greek mythology. So maybe people could almost see you as a little bit nymph-like. I always imagine the nymphs as kind of like beautiful and ethereal in some way. They're seen as minor deities associated with purity, cleansing, and the healing properties of water, inspiring prophecy, but some may also portray them as benevolent or dangerous. capable of drowning mortals who disrespected their waters. Okay, so maybe you're seen as a little bit more pure-hearted in some way, bringing healing to others. But maybe you can be seen as dangerous in the sense of if somebody's gonna mess with somebody you love or mess with your home or your family or something like that, maybe you can be seen as dangerous in that sense. Very protective. So I guess people could want to compliment those qualities you have. With the King of Pentacles, people secretly admire your stability, your independence, maturity, discipline, the way you handle responsibilities, and the way you present yourself as solid and grounded. People could also admire the fact that you want to kind of make more money. With the Six of Pentacles, you give your all to your work. You don't just half-ass things. You give your all. Maybe you work overtime. Maybe you put in extra time into your work, extra effort. You want to make the quality of your work the best you can. And you try to work in a way where you're like calm, where you're focused with the Four of Swords so that you can get to a great quality of work. Maybe you try to focus on one thing at a time to bring the quality up. And maybe sometimes you even delayed certain deadlines because you want your quality of work to be better. So I feel like people at work maybe admire that and want to compliment that, and people that have seen that about you. You can be kind of meticulous when it comes to your work quality. So people want to compliment your work ethic. There's this like respect that people are too shy to express because it feels like putting you on a pedestal. People see you as somebody that has potential to be successful one day with the King of Pentacles in any work that you do because of these traits you have, because you give your all, because you put your blood, sweat, tears into what you do, and you care about it genuinely. You carry everything well, like you know how to kind of work through that exhaustion, that mental load, but still find time to rest so that you can be productive when you go to work. What I'm noticing in this card is his dark eyes and dark hair. Also in this card, the beard, maybe people could want to compliment that. If you're a man, of course. If you make your eyebrows like this, I'm not sure what it's called, where it's kind of like there's those lines there. Maybe it looks appealing in some way to people and they want to compliment that. Also, if you're a man, your arms. If you're a man, people could see you as like more of a manly man. I'm getting more of this provider energy. If you're a woman, people could see you as somebody that's like independent on your own. This is the energy of like, Mom, I don't need a rich man, I am a rich man. Cher's quote. Okay, people also think that you deserve rest because they see that your workload is a lot, that you carry a lot alone, but you still appear calm on the outside. You're somebody that has this very chilled, laid back, non-judgmental demeanor about you, and it makes other people feel comfortable around you. You feel like home to a lot of people, like comfort to a lot of people, and people just love how chill you are, how even under pressure or stress, you always just bring this peaceful energy, and it makes other people feel more peaceful in some way. What I'm picking up on now is you have receipts or tea, or you would be able to like destroy certain people's lives with that, but you choose not to. Why am I picking up on that? Maybe somebody knows about it and wants to compliment it. So he's a Titan, god of heavenly light and watchfulness. So maybe there's something, again, like innocent, pure about you, and maybe people tend to watch you, or maybe you could be observant and people would want to compliment that. Then he is the god of sleep and the personification of slumber itself. And his sun is associated with dreams. Maybe There's something like dreamy about you. Maybe you bring like relaxation to people. Maybe you always like prioritize your sleep, where you make sure you get enough of sleep, you make sure you're well rested. People could want to compliment that. Maybe people also dream about you, or like I said, see you as a little bit more dreamy and hypnotic in some way, physically. Then the Six of Pentacles is about your generosity and fairness. People notice things that, like, that you always put in more effort into your relationships and your work, that you put in effort into your physical appearance too. You may take hours to get ready. When you're doing something for someone, like when you make a promise to someone, you give your all. Maybe even with gifts, it's like you go out of your way to like get the person something thoughtful, something they would like. You could be a good gift giver, okay? You could kind of like help others without expecting anything back. You give good advice, you offer emotional support when you can, and you're also balanced in your relationships and you treat people with respect. They want to compliment your kindness, but they don't want to seem overly sentimental. People see that you have a good heart and they notice. And people also love to stare at you. Sometimes when they're staring at you, they want to compliment certain things about your physical appearance. And maybe you might not notice, but a lot of people like to look at you physically because you're physically appealing. What I'm noticing in this card is her outfit seems very like bougie in a way, very like sparkly, glittery, bold in some way. Maybe some of you dress in like a bold way where you catch people's attention. Like what you wear screams, look at me, not in a bad way, but in a way where it's like you catch people's attentions. You're jaw dropping, kind of like gorgeous in some way. I'm also noticing that she seems to be wearing like a full face of makeup. It looks very glowy on her. Her skin looks very like hydrated and dewy in some way. And her hair seems to be in like beautiful soft curls out of her face, showing her beautiful face. So that could be something people notice and want to compliment. And even if you wear like darker eyeshadows or like darker browns on the eyeshadows, that could be something people want to compliment. Then the Three of Wands is at the back of the deck, so people could want to compliment the way you plan towards your future, how organized you are. Maybe you're more of a type A kind of personality type. And there's something about you just making good plans for yourself, for your future, thinking about your future. So she's also a Titan goddess of heavenly light. So there's like this heavenly energy about you. I mean, with all these deities showing that energy, that's confirmation here. Maybe you could also have like this head in the clouds energy about you. I'm seeing somebody that loves to paint. People could want to compliment your art. Or somebody that likes to write. You could also have a soothing energy about you. Okay, so now for this last section of the reading, I'm not going to get zodiacs, but I am going to see what I get clairvoyantly. But I can give you a few zodiacs I see from the cards. We do have Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarius. We also have strong earth sign energy here, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. There's something about you not looking tacky, I hear. And you seem to have good personal boundaries. I'm seeing someone with like a mystical, kind of like whimsical energy about them. I'm seeing that you could have dealt with a lot of restrictions. I'm seeing Saturn energy, which is associated to hardships, restrictions, as well as Aquarius and Capricorn energy. So maybe the way you dealt with restrictions and challenges are something people want to compliment. I'm literally seeing art in my mind's eye, like someone paints something, so that's confirmation. I'm seeing something about standing up for yourself, especially in situations that are unfair, especially in situations where another person has power over you. You're standing up for what is right, not allowing other people to control you or have any type of say in your decisions or anything like that. You always have your eye on the target and you make it. There's some kind of precision or accuracy with the moves you're making in life. So, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is that you have this powerful effect on people even when you're not around. People feel your energy so strongly that it sticks with them. You leave an imprint, you get under their skin in a way they can't forget. Your presence triggers realizations or self awareness in others, and people feel impacted by your kindness and fairness long after the interaction. You affect people deeply without even trying. There's some kind of emotional attachment here where people feel emotionally bound to you in a protective or admiring way. There's some kind of fascination, strong energetic connection, and people feeling tied to you even long after you've left their life. There's something about you that's memorable or hard to get over. People can't forget to disconnect from you even when they try. And you also awaken parts of people that they didn't know existed. This is about transformation, spiritual activation, or pulling something out of someone. You act as a catalyst. People may feel exposed, seen, awakened, or confronted with their own truth, even when you're not trying. You bring out the truth in others, even the parts they hide. Your presence feels mystical or uncanny. You have this kind of like energy of knowing things you shouldn't. People keep thinking of you in silence, replaying conversations and feeling your impact even when they're alone. Your presence and absence is just as powerful. And when you're gone, there's like strong regrets of what they did or didn't do that they ruminate on people. So I guess the people that are stuck on you could want to compliment you in that way. There's something also about getting your revenge in a way that is almost smart. I'm not sure why this is coming through, but someone wants to praise or compliment this. I'm not sure how exactly you're getting your revenge in like a smart, methodical way, but that's what's coming through. And it seems like you would only do that in situations where it was unfair and where it's like a just reaction, a valid reaction to what another person did to you. Of course, I'm not saying you should go and get revenge. I'm just reading the energy here as an unbiased reader. I'm seeing public speaking in my mind's eye. You're very good with your words and you seem confident speaking to the public. Maybe you also compliment people because I said compliment by mistake when I wanted to say confident. There's something about you that just seems cool, unapproachable, but also approachable because of your warmth. I feel like your look is unapproachable, but your energy seems approachable, if that makes sense. Something about your scent, I'm smelling like this sweet, perfumey scent that feels like kind of girly in a way for the woman watching. I'm also picking up on somebody that is a great detective, regardless of whether you do that for work or not. Like, you're good at finding out information you shouldn't know. Maybe let's say a friend gets effed over, you're gonna find that information so quickly and connect the dots. I'm seeing Gemini energy in my mind's eye, and I'm seeing someone propose to you. So I hope I'm not spoiling any surprise that may be coming for some if you're in a relationship. But maybe if you have gotten recently engaged, people want to congratulate you on that. Or I could just read that as people see you as marriage material. Like people's ideal in some way. People want to date you. People want to be married to a person like you. Then in my mind's eye, I'm also seeing very sexy legs. And I'm seeing a heart locket, someone keeping it in their hand. So again, it's like you stay in people's hearts even long after you leave. So that is where I'm going to leave your reading. I do hope this resonated. Also, I'm getting that you look very healthy physically. So yeah, that is all I'm getting for you. I do hope this reading resonated. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.